bloody good.
G'day, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Coming at you from the promised land, New Plymouth. Second member of our rancho on the podcast, finally, Matthew Hickford. Next we've got the beautiful mind, Jacob Benefield, at some point, if we can ever get over the hill to Palmy.
Whenever that housewarming happens to be.
Matty, what have we been doing this weekend, mate?
All sorts. We were just burning stuff before. It was pretty fun. Having a bit of toasted marshmallows and just throwing general timber in the backyard on the fire.
You burning up a redundant deck.
That's right, yeah. I made a beautiful golden deck last summer and replaced a pretty shabby looking old one, and the whole thing's just sitting beside the house, slowly just whittling it down in the fire, which is good. Enjoy a good fire. It's always nice sitting by a fire.
Yeah. Now, for those not knowing the joke, Promised Land is Taranaki. What made you move to the Promised Land, mate? I came with you when finally your uni. I did my optometry placement here. We stayed with your grandparents. Muddy.
Yeah, Nana and Muddy. Great New Zealanders.
Great, especially with a name like Muddy. Explain where you get a name like Muddy.
So Muddy used to coach his, one of his sons, I think it's just one of his sons, Dean's rugby team. And I think he let a bit of a fart loose one day, and his nickname became Mudguts. and so from then he got nicknamed Muddy. And I actually grew up without a granddad. I heard all my friends talking about a granddad at school, and I was like, what? I don't have a granddad, I have a Muddy. and for probably a while, I think it was quite confusing for me growing up, and I'd try granddad on him every now and then, and he wasn't into it at all. So he's just Muddy, and we love him.
And so it's nothing to do with him working in drilling?
Not at all. No. He never worked in drilling. He was he worked on the well sites, but yeah. Oh. But yeah, going back to how I came down here. So I studied mechanical engineering at uni, and because Muddy had the link at Todd Energy as a well site operator, I got my foot in the door with a bit of a summer internship, and that was when you were down here as well. And during the internship, got to spend a day out on one of the drilling rigs, and absolutely loved it, and was just like, this is me. From that point. So tried sussing out because that was the summer. Was it summer? No, winter.
We were here in winter, yeah.
Yeah. That must have been when I was in the drilling team then.
I don't know.
I think I'd worked here the previous summer, and this winter operation was when I'd organised to come back to being specifically the drilling team, which it was wicked, and so that's what I do now. So spent I think it was 2.5 or 3 years in the Todd graduate program, going through all the different disciplines of what an oil and gas company is, which is, so you've got your subsurface, your drilling, your completions, then your production, engineering.
I just had the
and then facilities.
I just had the flashbacks last night. I was watching Big Breakfast. You got your subsurface. There's a classic Lee Hart moment.
Was it in the flat that Chanel picked us up to go to some town operation or something? Or no, I think she picked me up from town, and I was in a state.
She now being your sister.
Yeah, she now being my sister, and got in the car, and I was pretty munted, and I think I was talking about some bloody beans that were in the supermarket. I don't know if you remember. There's like all kinds of different beans, so I was like, oh my god, Chanel, you'll never believe, like, there's so many different beans you can get. There's like Mexican beans, and that was all I had. There's obviously many more options than that, but yeah, that was the only thing that I could think of in my state.
Nice. So graduate program, I did a graduate program with Big Service, and got bored pretty fast. There's not so many subtypes of optometry. It's pretty much optometry. Actually, no, there are, but the Big Service is pretty much optometry.
Yeah.
Was that quite good having, a diverse thing keep you interested for 3 years? That's a long time.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Like, overall, to like understand the business as a whole, it's definitely beneficial. The downside of it is that you don't get to specialize like after the first year or whatever, and so you kind of delay your career a bit as what you're finally going to be. Like it's almost like a first year of an engineering degree where you do all the different disciplines, and then the next year you pick one that you're going to do. So like I started off actually doing civil, and I did that for a semester, and I was just like, I had high hopes of like designing the Burj Dubai and these beautiful bridges and stuff,
building bridges and getting over it,
and that became like pretty apparent that that's actually not what most civil engineers do. It was more like your roading projects and waterways type gigs. So I was just like, nah. I really loved the fluid mechanics and fluid dynamics papers that we did do in civil, and
they're my brother's favourites. He did them twice, and ironically, then he worked for Waddies and had to pump sauce uphill, so came in handy.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I decided to switch to mechanical, and it was definitely the right decision. And so my 4-year engineering degree was a 5-year engineering degree because of that semester, and also because of the semester abroad in Santa Barbara, California.
And we just listened to New Zealand's greatest export, Keith Urban. Oh, and now Blake shouted. Oh yeah,
God's country.
Not hello,
bad.
Jude. Yeah. What was Santa Barbara's not exactly country. How do you come away from going to Santa Barbara and coming back with some cowboy boots and a belt buckle, mate?
Yeah. So the first week that I was there, I arrived like a week before classes began.
Yeah.
And I was staying in one of the halls of residence, and it's so much different to Auckland Uni. It's probably closer to Otago than Auckland, but probably much different to that as well. There's like a whole student village like block. I don't know how big it would be.
Of like residents though.
Oh no, of students just flatting in houses down this road.
Yeah.
Honestly, like these cliffront ocean view houses, like multi-million-dollar houses that students are living in, and they are like flats, but it boggles the mind, man, honestly. But such a beautiful place. So anyway, this student village was like right next to, like, it butted right up to the university campus, and so Del Playa Drive was the party street, like renowned. So Santa Barbara,
the Castle Street of Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara is like one of the top party schools in the US. Which,
did you know that already?
No, I didn't know that. And honestly,
how did you choose to go there?
Santa Barbara was, I think, my third choice. I think Berkeley was my first.
Yeah. Shit, you would have got an education there, man.
Yeah.
You could be a different Matt Hickford if you'd gone to Berkeley, man.
Who knows what would have happened. And then I think... I can't remember exactly what the ranking of mine was, but I'm pretty sure Santa Barbara was like pretty down there because I had no idea about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was the greatest thing that could have ever happened anyway. So...
What'd your mum say? You pulled the wool over our eyes.
Yeah. Well, I was technically studying engineering, but one of the papers was extraordinarily hard, and I don't know that it was actually going to count anyway. And so mid-exam, I was just like, never mind then.
Oh dear.
So yeah, this first week that I was there,
$5,000 down the toilet.
yeah, oh well, money well spent.
Experience.
This first week that I was down there, I walked down Delphi Drive, and well, actually, I wasn't even in the Hall's residence at this stage. I was staying at a mate's place. She'd yet to arrive there. But,
how'd you know that?
Because I'd flatted in Auckland at 14 Flats, down Whitaker Place.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that part of it IH or no?
Yeah, it was kind of joint back then. I think it's a completely different thing now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I walk down the street, and there's these dudes all wearing like truck caps, sitting on the edges of this old Chevy truck, I think. And
having a Dixie cup on the tailgate.
And I'd probably, like, I think just that day bought myself a Volcom hat. Actually, I still have it. This was 2011 when I went there. And
yeah, I think my Vulcan pink and lime green board shorts are from about then too.
Yeah,
they're still going strong too. Good
stuff.
brand, good brand Vulcan.
Good stuff. So anyway, this Volcom hat was red, white, and blue, and these guys on the back of this truck were like, "Cool hat, bro." And to be honest, I'm pretty sure they were taking the piss. But I was like, well, I think it's pretty cool. So I went over and had a chat with them, and they offered me a beer, and so yeah, I hung out with them for a bit, and that was the birth of a beautiful friendship.
Do you remember what beer it was?
Nah, not a clue at all. It was probably a Rolling Rock, I imagine.
What's that?
Green can. It's
standard.
Yeah, I think this was before craft beer had like taken off.
Yeah. And
it was just like your stock standard, probably like double brown equivalent, like just beer flavored water.
Yeah.
But
was it all half percenters as well? Like half?
No. So light beer over there is not half the percent. I'm pretty sure it's just low calorie.
Low cal.
Yeah. Mm. So yeah, that was the birth of a beautiful friendship. So these guys were Army ROTC. So it's like the equivalent in New Zealand would be if you'd signed up with the army and they were putting you through university for free for service. And
was there many engineers that came from the army or Air Force?
I don't know. Never met them. These guys weren't engineers. I think one of them might have been.
But used to see the odd one around, eh?
Yeah.
Full uniform. Were they full uniform over there or no?
Not on campus. They had like morning PT sessions that they probably were, and they might have had certain days that they were, but they generally weren't walking around with their camos on.
My US geography is pretty rat shit. How far is it from San Diego? Is it between LA and San Diego? Is it right, or is it north?
Nah, it's north of LA. North. It's about an hour and a half north.
Right. So you rat shit.
Yeah. So these guys were awesome, and my Italian mate Patrick, not to be confused with Patrick Davenport, who was on here previously, one of our great El Rancho members.
It's birthday time.
It is his birthday. Yep, he's turning
16,
13 or 16 or.
Yeah, something like that.
Jacob said something about a 21st today, but I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, Patrick, the Italian dude. So yeah, he was my best mate in Santa Barbara, and he was a mechanical engineer as well. And we'd go there like maybe every day, but at least every like Friday and Saturday night, and just hang out with them, listen to country music. That was probably like I'd listened to a little bit of country before then, hadn't really like gotten fully balls deep in it. But definitely over there, yeah, got well into it. Chicken fried was like an awakening. And
that's good son. Did you have Luke Combs while you were there?
Nah, I don't believe so.
Shit, he's just been hunting with Meat Eater, and he did a campfire acoustic session, just crushed it.
Lovely.
What a dude.
Lovely. Yeah. So I guess these guys kind of took us under their wing, and one day, like, they had this arsenal of weapons at the ready, and they invited us to go and just shoot at the range up in the Santa Barbara mountains. So we were just shooting TVs and claybirds and stuff with AR-15s and shotguns and handguns and old World War II guns and stuff and rifles and stuff. It was bloody fun. And then one of the guys took me down to Boot Barn in what's the bloody name of that place? It starts with A. Not far from Santa Barbara. And got myself some cowboy boots, and yeah, that was incredible.
Those are the same ones?
Yeah, I still got them.
Yeah, good boots, they last.
I want to get some with a little bit lower heel though, because they are not the most comfortable to walk around long distance in. Need some walker boots.
And so how'd you end up at Cowboys Stadium?
Oh, yeah. So
you're a man, like there's the rower there and the bike there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to team sports,
yeah,
you can lift weights and like you've done some what category did you do of
athletic
physique bodybuilding?
Yeah.
But yeah, team sports not your forte.
Nah. Well, apart from rowing's pretty.
Oh
team.
yeah. No, you're right.
I don't know if you get really much more team dependent in like an 8 or
it's pretty rhythmic, isn't it?
4. Yeah, it's like a finely tuned machine. But yeah, no, haven't really been. I don't follow any sports teams. That's for sure. But if people are getting together and watching it, I'll watch along. And
well, we watched the World Cup at your place this time last year.
It's true.
Actually, shit, this is the anniversary of that horrific day where we got pumped by England.
That was a horrendous day. And didn't we have 2 Englishmen?
Yeah.
We did. God. And then we followed it up with a Netsky
hell of a turnaround.
at Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland. Netsky on Dad's fucking mental sound system.
Yeah, we can't have the tunes up too loud. Billy's asleep, so
yeah. Alright, that was glorious.
But yeah, Cowboy Stadium.
But I tell you what I do like VIP treatment at sports events, and I'll happily watch team sports.
Oh, so you're like a regular at Yarra Stadium before it got condemned.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the great things about being a drilling engineer is that you spend a lot of money with companies, and in return they sponsor like the Taranaki Bulls or whatever, or even the All Blacks when they were here.
Yeah.
And so you get invited to come up to their corporate box. So yeah, I've been to a few Taranaki Games up at Yarrow and won.
I know you like looking at yourself, so we'll keep this on.
And I think it was All Blacks versus Argentina that was here.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. But yeah, probably cooler than that, as you say, is the Cowboys Stadium. So how that came about, man, that was a glorious, glorious time of my time in the US. Browning, who was one of my flatmates in 14 Flats.
Yeah.
So this other girl wasn't a flatmate, but still lived in one of the flats in 14 Flats.
Right.
But Browning was one of my flatmates in our flat.
Was it? Were you there 1 year or 2 years at IH?
2 years. 2 years at IH, 1 year at 14 Flats. So anyway, Browning was from Dallas, and it came time for Thanksgiving in 2011, and it came to Thanksgiving time, and there was the option of either going to the Grand Canyon with a few mates or getting the deluxe treatment in Dallas with Browning and her family, and so I chose to go with Browning because obviously, like, we'd spent the year as flatmates, so it was pretty cool to go and see where she's from and all that.
So what was your timing in Auckland? Like 2 years in IH, the second one being civil. Is that right?
Yep.
And so what timing did you go to the States? The second half of your second year?
The second half. No, it was my third year that I went to the States. Yeah, I had 2 full years at. I only had half a year in 14 Flats.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the first half, and
so you've done a year and a half of mechanical. Is that right?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, 1 general, 1 semester civil, and then the end of that year mechanical, and then
right.
the first part of that next year mechanical.
Gotcha.
Yep. So anyway, Browning is from a reasonably well-off family.
Is there a first name or a last name?
It's her first name.
Yeah.
Browning Vaughan. So, and it's like a rite of passage that they do as girls in southern states.
Yeah.
Called like a debutante.
Yeah.
And so during this Thanksgiving break, that was like the peak debutante time. So I got invited to her debutante party, which was amazing. They had it at the country club that they belong to, and it was like...
Is it as you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Who gave you a collared shirt?
Yeah. We went... Browning took me shopping, and I went and got because it was a safari themed party, and so yeah, I just had like white on white, and I think maybe might have had like boat shoes or something.
Was that the start of the sailor theme?
Perhaps.
That was a little seed.
Yep. So, and she'd organised beautiful dates for me as well for her one, and we also went to one of her fellow debutantes balls as well.
What's debutante demarcate? Anything? Or just a time in your life?
I think it's just like a coming of age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they Christian or what?
Oh yeah, they'll be Christian, I'm sure. I don't know if it has anything to do with Christian though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a southern.
You were just happy to be there.
It's like the song Southern Belle.
Yeah.
It's just southern
thing.
A southern thing. But yeah, I was definitely happy to be there. And so they had these exotic animals and amazing bands and great drinks, and it was just spectacular.
A few tigers?
No tigers. No. But a big, it was either a cobra or a boa constrictor. It was a massive snake.
Yeah.
And had that around our neck, and monkeys and stuff. Yeah, it was
Wow.
crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like the things from movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're real. That's what Matthew McConaughey was saying today. Unbelievable. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because he grew up in Texas.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, then it came to actual Thanksgiving, and over there they have the Thanksgiving football.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
on that day, so they had an amazing Thanksgiving spread. That was great. So, and it was real cool meeting Browning and her family, all the extended family and stuff. They were real nice people. Yeah, they call it Southern hospitality for a reason. Yeah, very, very kind people. So anyway, we have Thanksgiving lunch, and then it's off to the Cowboys Stadium to where they have a box. The largest. Well, is it the largest? Was it the largest? I think it's AT&T now.
Probably. I couldn't.
But anyway, they had this.
We need a Googler.
they had this ginormous screen, like I think it was the biggest screen in the world.
Let's look up some facts on Cowboys Stadium.
And like I was taking photos of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders off the screen, not the pitch, because you could see them way better.
So it's called AT&T Stadium now. So
yeah, I don't know if it's still the largest or whatever, but I think it was.
It's got a retractable roof.
Mm.
It's in Arlington, Texas. Home of the Dallas Cowboys. Completed on 27th of May 2009, so it was still new.
Mm.
Home of the Cotton Bowl Classic, the Big 12 Championship game. It's owned by Jerry Jones. That's what it holds. Anywho, capacity is 80,000, expandable to 105.
Mm.
So they had 105,121 people for the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants. And they've also had 108,713 for an NBA All-Stars game.
Mm.
Oh, so not even legit. Boxing game, and they've had 51,420. And professional wrestling, WrestleMania, was 101,763 people. Oh yeah.
Yep, I was pretty blown away.
Cost $1.3 billion to make.
Jump change. So yeah,
he's a structural engineer. That's even wrong.
that's right. Yeah, that would have been the dream. But yeah, nah. I just drill oil and gas wells instead. It's still fun.
Is that what the family was involved with? Or?
Yep, they were involved in a bit of oil. I'm not sure if they owned land or whether it was a consultancy, an engineering consultancy or something. But yeah, they were involved in a bit of oil, as you'd probably expect in the great state of Texas.
Yeah. When you say land, like land that's being drilled, or is that what you mean? No.
Well, like over there, I'm pretty sure the landowner owns everything underneath it as well.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different to New Zealand, where the Crown owns all the minerals below.
Mm.
In the States, the landowner owns everything below.
So then, I don't know if you know the answer to this question. How do quarries get on?
Over there?
No, in New Zealand. Do you know that answer or no?
Oh, I would imagine that the Crown owns the rock, and it's the same as like oil and gas. The company pays a royalty to the government for what they make on it.
See when the government says no.
There is that.
There is that.
Touchy subject. Touchy subject, indeed.
Yeah. So, did you watch any football?
Well,
Or
just obviously I watched the game.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand it. Apart from like the Madden that I'd seen Brewster stay up all night playing.
I wouldn't be surprised if Morgan's still playing Madden.
I reckon he...
Between looking at the share market, I think... No, actually, in Morgan's defence, he played Premier Hockey this year in Hawke's Bay.
Did he?
What a champ. I didn't even know the kid played.
He played Premier Hockey?
Yeah.
Amazing.
He said the semi-final didn't go so well.
What an athlete.
Yeah, athlete. Yeah, that's what he was telling me. Left wing.
Incredible.
Yeah, tough day at the office.
That's incredible.
But yeah, no.
But yeah, I watched the game. I just didn't really know what was going on. But I was having a blast anyway. I was just happy to be there.
So what did you take out of 6 months in the States apart from a love of country music and all the trimmings that go with it?
I just love America. How I think it's their patriotism.
Yeah.
Like even
we were watching Pence just before.
even though I don't know that I would say that they do live in the best country in the world. Like I think probably everyone from their own country probably thinks that their country is the best country in the world. So I don't know if that's just bias. Like I mean, I think New Zealand's pretty legit, but just the fanfare over there, I think, is it's just amplified. It's just yee. That's
what we brought into our rancho, wasn't it? Just a bit of yee. Like we got after it that year, eh?
We did indeed, and that was kind of like that was sort of the vibe that Pat and I's like vision for the Auckland University Boat Club AUBC kind of was, because I'd done a little bit of rowing in Santa Barbara.
Did you row Hammer and Boys?
Yes, indeed. So I'd rowed in Santa Barbara and like knew already that like university sports is just enormous over there. It's like almost as big or bigger than professional sport over there.
Well, Longhorns have, I'm pretty sure their stadium's bigger than that Dallas.
Yeah, probably wouldn't surprise me. And
AT&T, whatever.
Because their alumni is so strong as well, they just get behind it. I'm pretty sure they sell out like all the games that they play. But yeah,
and that's controversial as well. the fact that you can buy college football merch that has the official like college sticker on it, yet the players get nothing. But anywho, we digress.
It's a stepping stone for them, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pat and I just kind of wanted to get a bit of that feeling into AUBC because Otago probably has somewhat of that vibe for their rowing.
Well, like I was hoping to yarn to my brother about it when he was up last Wednesday, but we ended up having a deep and meaningful chat anyway. So we'll have to do that next time and talk about going to China. And
China.
After watching Pence just before. And also St. Petersburg. He's got a hell of a yarn from that. But I think what you guys did, like, was it always Boat Club beforehand? Because I think that was like in the Blazers and going in with that. Like, was that something that was always there, or was that something you guys brought in?
So ever since we were there, it was the Auckland University Boat Club.
Yeah.
And for many years before that, it did used to be the Auckland University Rowing Club, but I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I can't remember specifically why it had to shut down. I have a feeling it might have been something to do with their accounts or something. And they had
before you guys started?
Oh yeah, way before we started. I don't know why it couldn't be called the Auckland University Rowing Club anymore, but anyway, boat club still sounds like kind of swanky as well. It's like
I think it's cooler.
it's like a little bit like
As,
elite.
as an observatory rowing orphan, I think the boat club sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my slight rebellion for rowing.
The only trouble with it being called the boat club is that people, when you just say that it's rowing, they're like, well, where's the other boats?
Where's the sailing? We'll get to sailing.
Where's the sailing? Where's the kayaking? Where's all the other water sports?
Where's the waka ama? That's
right.
That was the big issues you guys had. The amount of cash that was spent on waka ama at the uni.
Yeah, it's true. I can't even. I probably just got over that one.
Yeah, build bridge.
Yeah, build bridge. Yeah. No, we ran a pretty good program. I think we were going in a good direction. It was fun. Loved being part of that club.
It's still about though, isn't it? Still.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're actually
Still got the vibe.
well. I think it's diminished a little bit since the prime time of Matt, Pat, and Cam. So they've actually reached out to us recently, and we might provide them with like a little bit of direction, maybe.
And a bit of chicken fried on the playlist.
Yeah, a little bit of chicken fried. And a cold beer.
Friday night.
Why not?
The Blazers, was that you guys? You wore that to Jacob's wedding. The Beautiful Minds wedding.
To do that. Was that us? I can't remember if Chris Rolls did that or not. But we definitely we made it a thing for sure. At least when we were there. There might have been like a change of the guard type thing, like
yeah.
no crossover or whatever. So it was all like pretty fresh faces.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a good chunk of people would have gone out and gone to the op shop and got themselves a nice navy blue blazer and got them the emblem embroidered.
You guys went with the swanky option. I know the guys at the rugby team in Massey, which is where Jacob plays rugby, social rugby. They get they go for the tweed or just pretty much as grot as you can get.
Yep.
Yeah. Like you say, like I was saying, you can wear yours to a wedding.
We were the boat club, Stag.
The boat club.
You got to have some sort of standards.
Yeah, you guys are ready to rock up at Oxford, eh?
Yeah. That's what you think. I reckon when you think of a boat club, eh? Henley Regatta or Oxford.
Yeah.
Pat went a step further than that and he bought himself a navy blue blazer. I don't know if he got it a little bit tailored or whatever.
Oof.
He probably would have had to have got it tailored, to be fair, to fit his huge back in. But
yeah, does it still fit him?
I doubt it.
That guy works in a gym.
There's no way that thing fits him anymore. Surely not. But yeah, he dedicated to the cause.
I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking I need to add this song to my playlist. Beer Never Broke My Heart by Luke Combs.
Just crack up.
I'm like, that one's not on my playlist. No, nice. Shit, what was I gonna say? Rowing, bad. No, it's gone. Henley.
Boats and hose.
Boats and hose. No. Do you think that obviously Waikato was facing off against Oxford or Cambridge or then they got what's that US?
Yeah, they got Washington, I think, one year.
And also what's the Boston University one?
Oh yeah, yep.
Harvard. They got those down. Like the Hibbeley, is that what it's called?
Hibbeley was like the university
Shield. Yeah. Do you think I've had two brothers win it at two different universities, and you guys, Auckland did end up winning it, but not when you guys were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won it.
Do you think that
I wasn't in that 8, but
it came to Auckland?
we won it under my presidency-ship.
Do you think that we could get to the level of like Harvard and Yale or Oxford and Cambridge and
I think there's definitely the talent around. That
well, many people
could.
go over there and
Well,
that's what Pat's stoked on. He's got a couple of people that was
Yeah.
going to go to the States and now they can't because of
Yeah.
the sin virus.
Yeah. The China virus. the Chinese plague.
Oh gosh, Wuhan.
The Kung flu.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, like, because the States don't row through high school, so they get to university. Well, most high schools don't do it anyway. So most universities, like, that's where you start out rowing, which puts them on the back foot a little bit. I don't know what sort of program, like the likes of Harvard and the big names, what their program looks like, but there's definitely that talent in New Zealand, especially like straight out of high school. You got people going into the juniors who are like top level, like they're going places and rowing at Ham boys. Like you'll see the New Zealand 8 now, and there's boys that came through later than me in the New Zealand 8, which is amazing to see. Like you probably have a bunch of mates that play professional rugby and stuff, and you'll be like, oh yeah, fucking went to school with him. Or
it was like watching the Renfrew Shield the other night in Hawke's Bay, and in the Clifton pub with Morgan, and everyone's there supporting Hawke's Bay, and I'm there watching all these blokes that I played, like even one that I played with in Cambridge, but heaps of blokes that I played with at varsity in Auckland, playing for Northland. I'm like, come on guys. They unfortunately Hawke's Bay played a very good game, so that was fine. But having flattered with a bunch of Hawke's Bay blokes in Dunedin, I was sitting on the fence. It was just great to watch. Really good game.
Bit of a predicament there.
Oh no, it was just got to enjoy a quality match of rugby. But yeah, like you say, seeing people do well in sports and get after it, like shit, it's hell of a commitment. Like, both you and I at uni, we're the sort of people that try and do our best and try to be elite, and unfortunately spread ourselves too thin, and then also at the same time enjoy some good times,
enjoy some recreation.
Yeah, but it really does take obsession to get to that level, and anyone that wants to cut someone down for being awesome, like, they can get fucked in my opinion, and maybe that means that you don't become a sports person, but you get to rub shoulders with great people, and seeing them do well is awesome. So yeah, like, must from rowing, same vibe, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, seeing people, especially on like the world stage, is bloody cool.
Yeah. As a school, like, obviously Handboys crushes it in a lot of elements, and then you've got a bit of a cross-town rival when it comes to cricket and hockey with St Paul's. But well, high school was a long time ago. But what was the vibe of Handboys?
Well, at the time that I was in Handboys, we were pretty dominant. I'm pretty sure even against St Paul's. I'm pretty sure, like, in my last year, we would have won like Mardi, the first 15. I don't know about soccer or cricket, but
and hockey as well.
And hockey, I don't know about those ones, but yeah, we definitely dominated in rugby and rowing.
So, like, Christchurch boys as well, sort of seen in the same light of public school just crushing it. What happens third form assemblies, form class? Like, there's got to be some indoctrination of just fellas get into it.
Yeah, well, there's nothing like hazing or anything like that, or like you're not really like bullied by anyone or anything like that. But the leadership, I think, was just very, very strong. Had a very good vision of achieving excellence.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about our school emblem and like the thing under the crest.
Mm-hmm.
We call that. There's a word for it.
Yeah, my Latin's not good either.
Yeah, but anyway, the one at Ham Boys was Sapiens Fortunam Finget Sibi, which means a wise man carves his own fortune. And pretty much from the get go, like that's kind of driven home to you. Like, well, I guess like so one of the things that you learn pretty quickly in third form is like they have real strict rules. Like your shoes got to be shiny, your socks got to be pulled up, your shirt's got to be tucked in,
Mm-hmm.
your hair's got to be tidy and without product. And like I can't do the no product.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm
Yeah.
glad that our school, James Argus College, there was a lot of Dex Wax went through that.
Dex
school.
Wax, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. The green and gold. Green and gold.
Not good as a swimmer because it gets all over your goggles.
Oh yeah, well the green and gold is just like beeswax, so it just stays in there. It's no worries. But so yeah, there was the odd time that I would have got pulled up for having a bit of product in the hair, and it was a bit longer than it is now.
Yeah.
This was back before 369.
Yeah, explain the 369.
So 369.
But Billy was giving me a virtual haircut while we were out stuck in the fire. That's literally fire. And I was saying to her that you cut your own hair. Explain the 369 theory. Did it used to be shorter?
Nah.
No, it's always been.
It's actually a little bit longer now. It's like 3, 6, 9, 12 type fade. But won't get into that.
So you give it more
much.
volume on top.
Yeah, a bit more volume on top, bit more length on top. Looks a bit better. But 369, yeah, it's just a fade. And of course it's comes from that song from Lil Jon.
Where's the phone again?
369, damn that fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that yeah? Ski.
Yeah.
Is that one?
Yeah, that one. It is that one. Yeah. Feel the sweat drip down my balls.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
369. And so I think Jacob kind of played on that one a bit. So yeah, 369.
Hello.
So yeah.
To the window.
So that sort of thing's drilled into you at Ham Boys from the
not
get-go.
369.
Not 369, but high standards and just excellence. So they make a big deal about when the teams are successful, like when the rugby has a real good year, or like rowing would have a rowing assembly, just to recognise your excellence and strive for it.
That's
It's
good.
good.
Yeah, the Hamilton gets a bad rap.
Mm.
Yeah. You had your whole high school life there, Matthew?
Whole high school life, yeah. We, as a family, I was actually born in London.
Oof. From London.
Yeah, but I didn't really live there. Like my parents both Kiwi, and they were just working over there as like a bit of an OE type. Well, it wasn't really an OE. It was like just enjoying working overseas. They worked in like Norway and the UK and Hong Kong and some interesting places. And pretty much after I was born, we came back to New Zealand, be close to family, and so we moved back to New Plymouth because that's where because Dad worked for Shell back in the day, who is an oil and gas company, as hopefully everyone's aware. That's a pretty obvious one. And we lived here for probably until I was about 4, and then after that, Dad went and tried setting up a business with his friends in Tauranga called ImageLink, and so we moved over to Tauranga for that. And I was probably there for, I don't know, maybe, I think I came across to Hamilton in the last year of primary school, so I had all of intermediate and all of high school in Hamilton. So yeah, did all that in Hamilton, and then went up to Auckland Uni for my engineering.
And what made you decide Auckland over Canterbury or Massey even?
Well, let's face it, Massey's not a real engineering university, so
shots fired.
That crosses that one off the list pretty quickly. Waikato is probably even pretty debatable. The two engineering...
They both are big. Why are Massey and Waikato big on mechatronics?
I don't know.
Is that how you attract people? We build robots.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
But
that's the vibe.
But probably Auckland and Canterbury do them better. Because they offer mechatronics as well. But no, like the universities that you go to for engineering, if you're serious about engineering, is Auckland and Canterbury. So why not Canterbury? Well, I applied at both, and I'd done something a little bit dumb from a point of view of points and NCEA. So, because I'd never done chemistry, and I think Canterbury needed you to do chemistry, I did a level 2 paper when I was in my final year of high school.
Yeah. And
so that didn't count towards points.
Yeah. NCA.
And so like I was, I think, 2 points short of like guaranteed entry to Auckland. So you had to go on a waiting list and maybe make it in. So that wasn't ideal. And then Canterbury, I think, needed level 3 chemistry, and I did not have that. So that just didn't make it an option. But it was handy being in Auckland anyway, just because parents were like an hour and a half down the road.
Yeah.
In Hamilton. And Auckland is a very strong engineering university, so yeah. So anyway, turns out I think Dad still had a contact at Auckland Uni because he studied there as well, electrical engineering. And so we sussed out a meeting with him and managed to like get to the top of the waiting list, essentially. So that was good. Made it in, and yeah.
And how did you choose IH? I don't even think, and it's probably just being in the other end of the country, I don't even think IH was ever given to me as an option. It was basically choose Grafton or O'Rourke, and as I spoke about on an earlier podcast, got to go to both of them. So
yeah.
There was troubles with.
I don't think I got to choose.
Yeah.
It was chosen for me. I think my first choice was O'Rourke. It was kind of like Santa Barbara. Yeah, it wasn't my first choice, but turned out to be a pretty great place to be. Yeah. Don't regret it at all.
Yeah. So how'd you you're living here, you're seeing the Tasman Sea change every single frickin' day. How do you then go, I want to go sail on a boat out there?
Yeah.
No, I remember actually. You went to sail Croatia.
The yacht week.
Yeah. So then, how do you end up then going, I want to sail on that mad ocean out there?
Wow.
Because Yacht Week in the Southern Ocean and the Tasman Sea are quite the same things, are they, Matt?
Yeah, nah, they're not. Definitely not. So yeah, did like a month in Europe, and the headline event was the Yacht Week, which I was stoked to go on with, and went on. So you have a cabin mate, and Anna Cullum, one of our rowing mates, was my cabin mate over there, and so you're on these like 50-foot yachts, and there's 20 to 30 other yachts that are all just like going in a big armada to like different islands and different parties and stuff. It was like pretty incredible how they did it. Like the first night blows your mind. Like Dallas.
When did you pop the champagne?
That was on the last day, I think.
Yeah.
The champagne shower. But like if you imagine how blown away I was with like the Dallas treatment.
Yeah.
This thing was like that. Like you imagine Instagram's like everyone's highlight reel, right?
Yeah.
Every day on the Yacht Week is a highlight reel in real life. It's not like it's not imaginary on scrolling through Instagram. It's like real life.
Well, like Logan,
ridiculous.
Logan Dodds' first video, the majority of that is Yacht Week, backflipping off rocks and boats and the vibe of the place.
Yeah. So anyway, so I did that and like was good friends with the skipper after spending a week on board with him and him like showing us the ropes and stuff.
Literally.
Yeah. And I was kind of like, how the fuck does someone get paid to do this?
Yeah.
And so honestly, it was like a little bit of a rough patch in my career. Like it was. What was that point? I think.
You said 3 years for your...
I think it was between being a graduate and getting the job as a drilling engineer.
Right.
And I think the offer I got was just like way less than I thought it was going to be.
Expectations and realities.
Expectation, yeah. And I personally struggle from that chronically.
Not just in job offers.
Yeah, just having high expectations and
you've been in the executive suite at Dallas Stadium, so.
Oh yeah, I know. Like I have nothing to complain about at all. Like,
no, but that's like set your expectations of how life can go.
Nah, it was before.
It's a long way down. It's a long way down from AT&T.
It was definitely before that I'd been doing that. But like I have nothing to complain about at all. Like if anyone else like saw into the life of Matt Hickford, then they'd be like, "Fuck, this guy is doing good." Like,
shut up, cut.
And but yeah, I think I'm hugely self-critical and set really high expectations of myself, and when I fail to achieve them, then I just get a bit of like a low. It just sucks. And it was still like a very decent, like you can't really complain about it. I just had way huger expectations because it was oil and gas and like things were like booming at that time, like pre-COVID, pre-oil and gas crash, like
pre-restrictions in New Zealand.
Things were going good, and I was just like, fuck, that doesn't really what.
And so like the holiday was something that you'd done before the offer, or
yeah. So I received it. I think the last week I was there, and the last week I was there, I just like booked a week at a hotel, like no more hostels, I wanted to just chill on Santorini with just sit on the beach drinking beer like every day, just chilling out, no partying or anything like that. And stupidly, I checked my email, and it like put a real downer on the end of my holiday. It was pretty shit actually. And so like, because this was after the yacht week,
Yeah.
and like,
highs.
I had some time up my sleeve because I still had a few days in Santorini.
Not a bad place to have a shit time.
No, not at all. I still had a great time in Santorini. It was a beautiful place. I'd definitely go back there. So, because I had a bit of time on my hands, I was like, okay, well, how the fuck do you become a skipper on one of these yachts then?
Yeah.
And so you need your yachtmaster offshore and a few other tickets as well. And then you can go through the Yacht Academy and become a skipper on one of these, what do you call it, flotillas.
So is it just one dude on there? Plus all the people on Yacht Week, or is the other staff as well?
So each yacht has a skipper. So 50-foot yachts have like 10 berths. So 10 people. And you can choose to have a hostess or not. We had a hostess and a skipper, so there's them, and then they have like a support boat that follows, which has like a few like admin people and customer satisfaction, or I don't know.
And is it run by one company or?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Well, and there's several companies that do it.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
But this one was the Yacht Week. That's the company's name, the Yacht Week. And there's Sail Croatia.
Yeah.
And there's Med Sailors, and there's probably some others as well. But those are the main ones I can think of.
Yeah.
And then there's like I'm sure there's a lot of people in the background that are like setting up the parties, because the parties are what blow your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a fort, like out of
was it Dubrovnik or?
Nah, we didn't go to Dubrovnik. We were out of Split, but similar to what you're thinking on what's the fucking Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah, I've seen the Split before as well.
Yeah. Just incredible. So that was what kind of it was just like being on the drilling rig, like setting off a spark. Like, I want to do that.
Okay. I was like, what?
Yeah. So yeah, after that I started pursuing getting the Yachtmaster certificate. So I'm still working through it. Because obviously, like, I have a job and studying a Masters in Petroleum Engineering and
Is that not done yet?
All that. No, I've got one more project to go. It'll be done by April.
Right.
Yeah. So that'll be good. Just in time for me to become a skipper. and for Jacinda to just completely abolish oil and gas in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Good. So it'll be a good transition. Maybe that's the just transition she keeps talking about. Maybe we all become skippers.
It's like learning to code.
Yeah.
You've heard about that.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Just transition, man.
So yeah. So to get your Yachtmaster ticket, you have to do a theory course. So learning all about like your voyage and tides and winds and calculating how long it's going to take you to get there and what course you need to steer with the wind direction and tide direction and all that, and your rules of the road at sea. Mm-hmm. Yep. So you got to pass that, and then you've got to do a practical as well. And the practical consists of just basically days and miles on the water, which then leads us into the Southern Ocean Dash that I signed up for. So honestly, it's a pretty mental thing that I did, I think. I don't regret it at all. And
I was going to say, in hindsight, or
I'd
just
do it again. No, at the time.
At the time.
At the time. But to be honest, like
Didn't you message your parents like, nice knowing you?
yeah, totally. Yeah, it's like everything goes to Chanel if I die. Yeah. Basically.
What made you think like that?
Well, so the trip was between Hobart and New Zealand.
It's supposed to be Bluff, eh? But
Yeah. So we were supposed to go on at Bluff, but due to like the customs, if you arrive from overseas, then you can only come into port in certain spots. So I think like Christchurch was one, and then there was Nelson, and I think the next one's Auckland and the Bay of Islands.
So not even Taranaki. You could have just got off and come home.
Taranaki's not a good place to yacht. There's it's not really set up for it. Yeah. But so anyway, it wasn't just like sailing across the Tasman Sea. We were going deep. Like the guy who runs it's called the Ocean Sailing Club, and it's this I think it's non-profit organisation. It's basically just this guy called Peter Eddington, and he runs like a sailing school out of Sydney. Great guy. And he organises trips often between like Aussie and the islands, and Aussie and New Zealand, and he's got this Ends of the Earth challenge that he's got planned. Well, he had it planned for this year, I think, but obviously like COVID completely cocked that one up. But anyway, he still wants to do it, and in order to make sure that his boat was like up to the task of going around the world vertically, like most people would go around that way, he wanted to do like a bit of a shakedown or proof of concept of being in heavy weather. Like the Ends of the Earth challenge goes around Cape Horn, and that's like one of the most treacherous bodies of water. Most people probably have heard of it. So we were going to 50 degrees south, so that's pretty much it's further than halfway from the equator to Antarctica. It's probably not quite halfway between New Zealand and Antarctica though, but it's still pretty deep.
Yeah, I think Invercargill's getting close to 46. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we were pretty deep.
Yeah.
So and as you say, like the Tasman Sea is pretty rough as it is, and we were going deep. Like they call it the Roaring 40s. It's called the Furious 50s. So yeah, and like you're out of helicopter range when you're that far away from a body of land, and so your only refuge is pretty much if there's a fishing boat or the Navy, basically, and it'll take them days to get to you probably.
Yeah.
So like if anything happened, like I was like I could die, I could not come back from this.
Yeah.
So it was definitely something that I thought about. But talking like it wasn't something that you just like willy-nilly like signed up for and then you turn up and go for it. Like Peter gives you a call and you like question each other, and so like I was like asking questions like, well, what kinds of weather are you expecting down there?
All of it.
Like, because it's not going to be a walk in the park. Like, I live in New Plymouth, and that's like 39 degrees, and that's pretty hectic at times. And so, and like I was watching. There was like the Sydney to Hobart race of some year. I can't remember what it was, but I think several boats capsized, and I don't know if I can't remember if people died. I think there were a few fatalities actually. So I was like mentally preparing myself for conditions like that, and then like just YouTubing Southern Ocean yachting and stuff, and like it's big swells. We were pretty lucky though, actually. Like we had some massive seas, but nothing like actually what I was prepared for. Which is that's good.
Was your whole crew trainees or?
All various levels. Like some of them had their own yachts. Some of them had done like the Sydney to Hobart and and stuff like that. And Peter's done
as crewmen or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crew woman, crew people.
Yeah, and Peter the skipper was pretty. He's a salty sea dog basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was sweet.
Yeah, how salty do you get? How many days away were you?
Oh, I think it was 19 days in the end actually, and that was mainly just because. So as you say, we were gonna just come into Bluff, and that would have probably been 12 days.
Yeah.
But I'd taken 3 weeks leave, and no one else really had anywhere to go, and he was going from New Zealand back to Sydney, so it made we were kind of just like, well, we got time, why don't we just like go up the east coast of the South Island and go to Nelson.
So you went up the east coast?
Yeah.
But didn't pull into Christchurch?
Nah.
Lame.
Yeah. It was painful coming up the east coast of the South Island though. Like there was fuck all wind. Like there was a couple of days that we were just pretty much sitting still.
Yeah.
Which is pretty boring.
And in the ocean, do you anchor or nah?
Well, no, you can't anchor. Like hundreds of meters of water.
You just
hundreds to thousands of meters.
And what you drop sails or no? You just keep trucking?
No. Well, we like so you sail throughout the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were running like a I think it was 2-hour shifts. So you had like a rotation. So 2 people were on deck at all times, and then every 2 hours, might have been every hour. No, I can't remember if it was every 2 hours or 1 hour. But one of them would go in and you'd replace it, and then the other one would go back down. You'd sleep, and like during the day, most people were like awake. But if you had a late night shift, then you'd probably try and get a bit of sleep during the day. Yeah.
So is everyone just kind of a constant daze for the whole 12 days?
Yeah, it does definitely drain you. But it was all good. The crew was pretty amazing actually. Like all different ideas and levels of sailing, and there were no one walked the plank or anything like that. It was pretty civilized, so I think we all got along pretty well, and it was a pretty amazing experience. Like, not many people have been 50 degrees south.
No, shit, no.
And not many people have swum at 50 degrees south. Jumped off the yacht, of course, at 50 degrees.
Nice.
You'd have to.
So how'd you set that up?
Oh, well, we parked up. You can heave too, so you don't drop sails, but you one sail stays one way and the front sail stays the other way pretty much, and you pretty much just don't move. So we did that and had like a celebratory dinner on the deck. It was honestly like pretty flat when we got to 50 degrees south. So yeah, we had a nice dinner and a wine, and I think it was some I think it was rum.
Plenty of Dutch courage.
like pirates. I think I might have gone for a swim before all that though. But yeah, we stopped and just commemorated.
And it was chilly.
getting there. Yeah, it was cold. Yeah, I had like so I bought expensive top of the line like stuff that you see the Volvo Ocean Race guys wearing wet weathers. So you have them, and then underneath that had like polar fleece.
Would you get Hunt Tech?
Yeah, you were there. Stag was there for like the last time anyone might have seen me. Yeah, and then some merino under that, and that was probably about it actually. But yeah, pretty cold, like as cold as being up on a mountain skiing.
So what, you were in the water in your kit?
No. So when I jumped off, it was just undies. Yeah. Yeah, she was pretty cold though. Oof.
Straight back on the bike, get the gear on. And so, how were you navigating?
So just GPS mainly.
Yeah.
But we were running a log the whole time, which is what any sensible skipper runs.
Mm-hmm.
So just like keeping track of your coordinates on the GPS. But because you're keeping a log, you know which direction you're going, you know what the wind's doing because you're recording all that. So if your GPS does die, then you can work out where you probably are.
And is there any comms going on?
Yeah, comms were pretty intermittent. Every day we would report into, I think it was Taupo radio in the middle of our country. I think that's where like the search and rescue headquarters is or something. So we tried radioing through to them. I don't think particularly successfully most of the time. So we ended up, I think, getting, I think it was Brisbane, to relay it back to Taupo, because Peter had like contacted Radio Taupo and told them these are our plans, this is where we're going to be heading, like we're going to call you every day and give you an update and stuff. So they were expecting us to get to them, and then we had like a little mobile internet thing. So every day Peter would send an email back to Sally, his wife, and then Sally would send messages back to family of all of us.
That's cool. And what'd you eat?
All sorts. Peter mainly cooked. He was pretty good actually. Started out with some meaty meals, but because we weren't running a fridge the whole time, because it takes power, and to have power you need to run an engine or battery, but you don't want to run your battery flat. We did have solar panels and
windmills?
No, it wasn't. It was like a windmill in the water.
Right.
So it was
turbine.
Yeah, it was a turbine that just generated power from dragging behind you. So we did have that. So during the day, if we were sailing along well enough, like you could charge your camera or phone or whatever, and do all that.
Nice. Was that the same camera you took to base camp, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yep.
Still work good. And so, this is going deep as you can. How's looking at as high as you can?
Yeah. Yeah, so I went to, this was back when I was still a graduate actually. I think it might have been like must have been my second year, but went to Everest Base Camp, just the trek. Like, it's not, it sounds cool, it sounds extreme, but it's just a walk basically.
Yeah.
High altitude, like that's the hardest part about it, and walking every day, but there's nothing technical about it.
What's distance?
Oh. I think it was like 12 days of walking every day for 6 hours a day. So however far that is, but I think you start at about, trying to think what elevation Lukla Airport is. It's I'd be guessing, to be honest. I feel like it might be 2,500 meters or something. And then Everest Base Camp's about 5250 or something.
5250. Everest Base Camp. Oh, camps. That's nice. South Base Camp is in Nepal at an altitude of 5,364 metres.
Yeah.
17,000 feet. Or 500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Or the North Base Camp in Tibet. That's not where you were, was it?
No, sir.
That one's at 5,150 metres. And what was the airport you went from?
Lukla, Lukla. Yep.
You went to 17,000. Look, airport. Tenzing Hillary Airport. Holla. It's at 9,000 feet.
So divide that by 3, about 3,000 metres ish. Doesn't have metres?
2,845 metres.
Yeah, sweet.
Reasonable.
Well, it wasn't far off.
So, where was the motivation to do that? Oh no, we lost it.
The green light's still on.
Yeah.
It might have run out of battery though, eh?
No, there's lights up there.
Yeah.
Here we go. What'd you do that for? 47% of the task.
No worries.
There's green lights everywhere.
Green lights.
Yes.
We were just Matthew McConaughey and Joe Rogan. Why I want to do that? I think I'd always been like a pretty big fan of Everest, and I actually, like, Browning's dad had climbed to the top of Mount Everest, and I watched his video that he had of it all, and was pretty blown away. Like, I was just like, wow, this guy's the man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a couple of other people that I knew had done Everest Base Camp, and actually no, it came up on Grab One, to be honest. This package deal for Everest Base Camp trek, it was like $1,000 or something, and it included your guide. You paid your guide a tip and all that, but it included your guide, Sherpas. Well, not Sherpas. They're not called Sherpas because they're called porters at that altitude.
What, they carry your bags?
Yeah. Yeah, you just carry the day pack. Those guys are bloody amazing, eh? They carry like 3 people's packs per person.
Jeebus.
Such machines. So yeah, you got this package for $1,000, and it included like all breakfasts and your accommodation in the tea houses and all that. So I was like, sweet, done. Do it. Book flights. Go over. Did a bunch of other tricks over there as well. So yeah, like, I'd been keen about Everest, had heard other people had done it, saw this Grab One thing, and just pulled the trigger and did it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Shit, you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I've been sort of hashtagging this thing at the moment, Circle of Savages. that's my sort of thing of late, of like advice for anyone of like, what would you tell people now that surround yourself with the Circle of Savages? And like our rancho, that was we were a bunch of maniacs.
Yeah.
And then since then I've sort of tried to do that in terms of surround myself with people that I'm accountable to, and I also try and hold them accountable by doing shit that that might inspire them. You've just like a couple of things reeled off, and that's why you're awesome mate to have. Like, what do you what keeps you doing these things? Is it personal? Is it seeing other people do stuff? Is it a combination? And you've been, as you said before, you've been given great opportunity in life. Live up to what's in front of you. We sort of guide you along, man. Because, like I say, you see a $1,000 Everest base camp and jump at
it. Yeah. Well,
like lots of people could come up with 101 excuses why not to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I think I love to learn. So like, even if I don't become like a yacht week skipper, learning about how sailing works and how to sail a boat and going into ridiculous Southern Ocean conditions and stuff. I just love the learning opportunity, and it's the same with like even work. Like I reckon work sucks dick if you're not actually like learning things.
Yeah.
If it's just the monotonous grind, I reckon that's just really boring, and getting challenged, learning things, and like some of the stuff, like the Southern Ocean dash, I was just like, well, the thought of being able to say that I'd done it, as well, kind of like was a bit of an attraction, because I was like, I could like dying is completely on the cards.
Yeah, thankfully my 101k ultra dying's probably not on the cards, but as I'm in the heat of the big miles, I'm definitely hanging on to the fact that shit, not everyone can say they've done 100k.
Oh yeah.
I still might not get there. That's the given, but probably not dying.
If nothing else, you'll be in the hurt box.
Yes. Climbing Mount Herbert's gonna be fun, but anyway, it's alright. But yeah, like it's what's your thing? 369.
369.
It's for like YOLO, isn't it?
Yeah.
You only live once.
Yeah, but like I bought a cheap dirt bike, like motocross bike, from my uncle.
Yeah.
Because my brother-in-law is real into it, and he's keen to teach me, and my uncle that I bought the bike off is keen to like teach me as well. But that is like a huge challenge for me. Like those guys have been riding since they've been like teenagers, and they're one with the bike. And I jump on a bike and fucking career off a 6 meter bank and rip my knee and shit like that. But just like learning that stuff and learning how to do bike maintenance as well. Like I found that like really satisfying, even just learning how to change the oil on my bike. Like I'm a mechanical engineer, but like not a practical mechanical engineer. Just I try to be as practical as I can, and I love the practical side of it. Like there's nothing better than being out on the rig and seeing the operation happen, and just like asking like, what's this and why'd you do that, and how can, because at the end of the day, like my job is to write the instructions for these guys, and just optimizing that. And
yeah, I know like my younger brother as a surveyor thoroughly appreciates survey technicians. Is that the same on a rig? Like you're the engineer, but mechanical technicians are just so handy. Like you say, why are you doing that? What's that component? You know, what's going into this?
Yeah, well, like they do this every day of the week, and so they know it inside out. And you can never underestimate field guys at all. And I think that's why a lot of engineers get a bad rap, to be honest. Like, What if your guys see an engineer come to site and are like, oh, here we fucking go.
Yeah.
But if you can...
we did get that. We actually think that in optometry as well. Oh, here we go. Engineer.
Yeah. Well, turning up to like a doctor or a physio or an optometry, like I want the commentary. Like, talk me through what you're doing. Like, help me understand it. Like, I'm not gonna be an optometrist by the time you end up telling me, but I think I can like conceptualize some of the things that you're trying to tell me, and like learning biomechanics and stuff like that, and and all that. Like engineers just want to know how things work.
Yeah. No, I think thankfully with a brother and a old man, there was a physics teacher come specialist engineer for a bit. Get your vibe.
Yeah. But I think if you can be inquisitive and not be a know-it-all out on site, you can get a bit of respect from the guys. And like, if you can teach them, if they'll teach you something for sure, and you can probably teach them something as well. Like, they probably wonder why the hell you wrote the instruction the way you did.
Yeah.
And you can be like, well, this is actually what we're trying to achieve by doing this, and they'll be like, oh yeah, makes sense. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe you can change it. But yeah, definitely appreciate time on site and just treat everyone as you would want to be treated. That was another thing that came up in the McConaughey podcast today. Treat people how you want to be treated, and that's pretty much just how everyone should operate, I reckon.
Yeah, man. So, is your social public? Is your social networks public, Matt?
I don't think it is anymore. No.
Well, I can try find it.
Yeah, Instagram. It's pretty easy. It's just Matt_Hickford.
Yeah, nice. And so you just kind of went into it then. Like, we've been watching a few podcasts over this weekend. But what's the thing that when things are going well shows up for you in your life? And like, that was what was quite cool. Again, Matthew McConaughey talking about how he writes down when things are going well. So if he's having a shit time, he can go back and go, he talks about himself in the third person. Hey, McConaughey, what are you doing? So it can be like a quote, way you live your life, just something that keeps you flowing and going along.
I don't know. I probably need to take a journal like McConaughey so I can figure it out. But I know the feeling when you are just running green lights.
Yeah.
And it definitely beats coming up against traffic and red lights for sure. I don't know. Grew up with the quote, "If it is to be, it's up to me."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that was something that was just drilled in from mum, pretty much.
From Trace.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
No, that's again, like, the podcast is about giving people proof, giving people permission, and ordinary people doing great things. If you want to listen to a good podcast, listen to 2 podcasts with Nathan McConaughey, Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan. Like, that's what he said, eh? Like, maybe you can read his book or listen to me going, that Matthew McConaughey is just a normal dude doing awesome things.
Yeah.
Like, why can't it be you? Like, it's such a powerful thing, and that's what I think. Sitting down with people, having a conversation, talking about it, seeing that they are deep down a regular person, like you were saying, you've done some cool shit, but at the same time you have all these expectations, and like, we'll go through our stuff.
You know how you're more likely to give, or people in general are more likely to give a negative review than a positive one?
Right, yeah.
I think probably like people are like that in their own lives a bit. You remember that you had shit times probably more than you should give them credit for.
Yeah.
Than the good times. Like this hour or however long we've been chatting for, probably is about an hour.
Hour and a half. Doing awesome.
Yeah. Talking about all the cool shit that I've done, and I'm like, yeah, like
it's pretty sweet.
It's been pretty fun. But yeah, you just sometimes you get in a rut and shit doesn't quite happen how you expect it. But yeah, I think you just got to get back on the horse and keep chugging along, like Luke Bryan tells you.
No, awesome. That's me.
Yeah, I think things do work out. I think if you, that's probably the mantra that I operate on. I think things will be alright.
Yeah.
Like it'll be alright. No matter how it's going, it'll be alright.
Awesome. Me. So we have talked for, what did I say? Hour 36.
I can't read that shit, mate. I need LASIK.
It's good. That's from an optometrist. Let's press stop. That's me.